Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Today, we have another interesting topic for you guys. But before we get into it, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button because we're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So we'd really appreciate it if you helped us hit that target. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So going into this season, all of us that cover the NBA, we're making various predictions going into the season. It's nothing new. And I believe that the majority of the media felt as if going into this season, that it was really going to be about two teams. And those two teams are, or were, or are, whatever, were going to be the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers. Those were the two big fishes. I think even Vegas at one point was feeling that way. And it's funny enough, no one was really, it's funny that we just kind of, overlooked the Milwaukee Bucks, who just won the NBA championship, and overlooked the Phoenix Suns. And I think the Phoenix Suns this season have a point to prove. They're like, you guys are going to continue to disrespect us. We're going to show you. I think Miles Bridges went on the JJ Redick podcast, and he let his feelings be known. Like, listen, y'all are not doing a good job covering us, and we're going to tear up the league. We're going to make you talk about us because we're going to beat the brakes out of every single team we play this year until you guys start talking about us. And right now, I think they're the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, and I think they have the number 2 record overall in the entire NBA. So that's the current, it was worth saying that. So these were the two teams that everybody was kind of discussing, while at the same time, by the way, overlooking the Golden State Warriors. For those of you that have been following this channel, you know for a fact that I've been saying that I felt as if the Golden State Warriors this season were going to be good. I'm not the only one. Stephen A. Smith has also been saying the exact same thing, that the Golden State Warriors, and I think it's a big mistake, and now people are starting to really realize, like, oh man, we made a mistake. And this team has the number 1 record in the entire NBA. That is without Klay Thompson. I want y'all to think about that, just how good of a team this is, right? You think about the Golden State, okay, for instance, you think about the Clippers. I think they're the number 5 seed in the Western Conference right now, 2 or 3 games above 500. But they're doing that with their second best player. But imagine if they had the number 2 seed in the Western Conference without Kawhi Leonard. You'd be like, man, this is a hell of a team. So I think the Golden State Warriors are going to make everybody pay for flat out disrespecting them. Y'all are going to pay for disrespecting that team, and they're coming for everybody. And it's not a mirage. It is not some made up stuff. It is really happening. This team is real. It's not a mirage, right? That record is not some made up stuff. It is really real. On the case of on the other hand, on the case of the Lakers, I was amongst some of the voices in the media that had some reservations about this team. I had some serious reservations about this team. But while I was having these reservations, everybody else was singing Kumbaya. Oh, blah, 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 it's going to be the Lakers. Everybody was just jumping in. Let's break dance to the Lakers. They're going to do well. But now, after 26 games, this team has a 500 record. I've heard some people even holding out for taking a position because they're like, well, I'm not going to take a stance until we know exactly what LeBron has been playing in these games. What do you expect to happen? Like, what kind of, like, okay. He's going to come in and fix the defense. Like, come on, what do we even talk? We've seen him playing games before, right? Like, what are we even talking about at this point? And now all of a sudden people are trying to scramble. People are scrambling all over the place, trying to change their positions because there was now people are saying there's no way we saw this coming and all of this. I don't know how you never saw this coming if you were analyzing this team. And now it seems as if the person that's in the line of fire is the head coach, Frank Vogel, who seems to be right now the only person that saw this coming. And we're going to read some comments that we got from Bleacher Report where Frank Vogel seems to be the only person that saw this coming. The guy that everybody wants fired seems to be the only guy that kind of has a clue as to what is actually happening. So before we go too far, we want to get into this article quickly. And I'm just going to read you some of his quotes, and then we're going to come back and give you guys our thoughts. So let's get into this article right here. He said, "We knew the early season was going to be bumpy. You know what I mean?" Frank Vogel told reporters in late November. "This season is about peaking at the right time and understanding that we are going to use an 82-game season to learn each other and grow each day, each game." Those were the comments that the head coach made, right? Because now I'm going to relate this back to Charles Barkley in a moment here because he's a part of this video. Those are the comments that he made, and this is coming from the head coach who has a pulse on the team. So help me understand something. How is it possible that the head coach is the only one that sees that there's some issues here? Nobody else sees it. He's the only one that was able to see this, and no one else did. When you were going into the season, making your early season prediction and analysis, nobody saw this. And the guy that everybody wants fired now all of a sudden is the only guy that saw this coming. And I think this is one of the reasons Charles Barkley is up in arms. He's like, wait a minute. Y'all know that this team has some issues going into this season. Y'all know that, or at least the people that were willing to look at this thing and kind of judge what they were seeing dispassionately. You guys knew what you were getting into. Y'all knew that. But now all of a sudden, when this thing is really gone awry after 26 games with a 500 record, now all of a sudden people are talking about, oh, we should fire the coach. We should get rid. This was the reason that Charles Barkley was blasting the media. He's like, this is clownish. This is clown. How are we going to blame it on the coach when just 2 years ago, he helped deliver a championship to the Los Angeles Lakers, who were experiencing which ended a 10-year drought. People forget the last championships that the organization won. Prior to them winning that championship in the Orlando bubble was when the late great Kobe Bryant was there, when he delivered them 2 championships in consecutive years, beating the Orlando Magic and beating the Boston Celtics. Those were the last championships. They went almost 10 years without winning another championship. They had a bunch of different coaches. Now you have a coach, a defensive-minded coach, that when they won the championship that season, they were the number 1 ranked defense in the NBA, the number 1 ranked defense, and all of a sudden he was looking like a brilliant defensive coach. And now 2 seasons later, they can't even defend a parked car. And now all of a sudden they're talking about, oh, Frank Vogel doesn't have a pulse on the team. He may not be the right guy. The lineups that he's running, it seems as if he doesn't. Like, what do we even talk? This is what Charles Barkley was speaking to. He said, y'all are crazy for trying to put it on the head coach. He has been one of the constants. What have been the constants? LeBron. The head coach, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and the head coach. These have been some of the major constants over the last 3 years. Those 3 guys were there when they won the NBA championship. And now all of a sudden, when things are going right, it's the coach. Now the coach can't even reach the team. This is what Charles Barkley was talking about. And no one is given enough blame. Okay, instead of sitting there talking about the coach, why don't we talk about the people that put this team together? Like number 1, LeBron, and number 2, Rob Pelinka. Was the coach the one making those off-season moves? Really? Y'all believe that it was the head coach? So if it was the coach making those off-season moves, what would be the purpose of having a GM? This is why Charles Barkley is angry. And for the people that feel like, oh no, it's only 25 games. It's nothing. For the people that also believe, oh, all we got to do is just fire the coach. Once we fire the coach, we get a new coach. Everything, because this new coach can speak life into this new team, this mumbo jumbo nonsense. Let me tell y'all what essentially that line of thinking is tantamount to. It is like a dirty dude, a dirty A dude who hasn't showered in weeks. And this guy decides, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of taking a shower, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off these dirty clothes. I'm going to put on new clothes and spray some cologne. And all of a sudden I'm going to smell better. You're going to stink just as much as you did because you still got that stink on you. It doesn't matter the type of clothes you put on, the new clothes or the new cologne that you put on. It doesn't matter the coach that you go and get if guys are not playing defense. The new coach is not going to fix the defense. He's not going to go out there and start pushing guys to go play. These guys have to want to play defense. Anthony Davis needs to want to step up on his own. He should have enough self-pride in himself to say, if I'm the youngest player on this team that is in my prime, why am I not leading the charge? Y'all think a new coach? Y'all need to go get Dr. Phil or somebody if that's what y'all are looking for. Somebody that can psychologically motivate guys if that's what you got, or Tony Robbins or one of these guys. But if you believe that a coach is going to change all of that, well, let's see. Let's see. Because if we're going to convince ourselves that now Frank Vogel is all of a sudden a bad coach, when just 2 seasons ago he was at the helm when that team won the NBA championship, then let's see. And this is exactly why Charles Barkley was calling people out. Stop wasting people's time with all of this nonsense about always the coach and all of this. The coach knows it. Charles Barkley knows it. The players know it, and we just need to be real. And that's what I think. So, what I want to know from you guys is obviously, what do you think about Frank Vogel's comments, and what do you think about Charles Barkley's position on this matter, and what do you think about my position on this matter? Whatever you guys think, Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.